I was so scared to put the videos up.
After this career in modeling,
after being on the stage for Victoria's Secret, I still was scared. And at some point, I just said to myself, you know what? That's it. I'm done.
Welcome back. And today in the Creator Method podcast, I'm thrilled to welcome Vita Sidorkina. Born and raised in, Vita, correct me if I'm wrong, because it's funny because I also speak Russian.
Khabarovsk?
Khabarovsk, that's it, now I know. Born and raised in Khabarovsk, Russia. Vita moved to New York at just 17 years old to pursue a modeling career. She quickly made her mark in the fashion industry, walking for luxury brands like Hermès, Tory Burch, Carmen Mark Volvo, I don't know these brands. Montclair, I know, obviously Rebecca Minkoff, and appearing in editorials and covers for Vanity Fair Italia, Marie Claire Spain, Teen Vogue, Paper, and Telva. No big deal. Regular everyday stuff. Not a big deal. One of her career highlights came in 2015 when she walked in the prestigious Victoria's Secret's fashion show, a moment that solidified her place in the global modeling scene. Today, Vita has expanded her career into lifestyle and digital content creation, sharing fitness, fashion, motherhood, and everyday life with her audience of over 1.3 million Instagram followers, 85,000 YouTube subscribers, and over 132,000 TikTok followers. She's built a personal brand that connects deeply with her audience through authenticity, elegance, and a modern approach to storytelling. Vita, welcome.
Wow, I love this description.
Isn't
it just made me reflect on all the things I have done.
You just went back into your life. But I want to start off with something really serious. Mm-hmm. I want to congratulate you on your newest acquisition, this solid gold Labubu. that you just posted that you just acquired. So that was a brilliant piece of content. That was so funny. And so for those who haven't seen it, obviously go to Vita's Instagram and take a look at it. It's your daughter. Mm-hmm. And you did such a cute voiceover, and your facial expression was just so on point. You so nailed kind of that creative concept. And I feel since I've met you, and we've known each other now for, I think like a couple of years now, we've known each other. Yeah. That video that you did with this Labubu concept, like that's a range you never had before. No. Like this artistic, you know what I mean? Like walking runways and modeling work is kind of one thing. Mm-hmm. But that comedic timing, the facial expressions, that's completely something different. Mm-hmm. How did you progress from the very serious runway work to this ability to have comedic timing that connects so well to audiences?
Well, I will say, I'll just go back a little bit. I will say that modeling kind of condition you not to show your emotions a lot of time and just being like that perfect, picture perfect model, right? And I think it took me so long to come out of a shell of being that being so self-conscious on so many levels. And I feel like I finally broke free, and it might sound strange that it just happened this year, I feel like. And I will tell you that now that I create content, I will say that I don't take myself as seriously anymore. And I think that's been one of the main things. I was like, you know what? I'm not that serious. Right. Like, if the content will not click with somebody, who cares? Just being like carefree been probably one of the main kind of switches for me this year.
Yeah. That's really important because so many people, and I think earlier on throughout your career, everything had to be so perfect and curated, and you were, as you were saying, you were conditioned to that. But take me back. Tell me about, you were born in Russia and you came to America when you were how old? So
I came to America, to live in America. I came when I was 17, but I actually had trips before that to America.
For modeling?
For modeling, but it was a short trip.
When did you get discovered? How old were you?
I've been discovered when I was 13. I started traveling a lot to Asia because at that time, at such an early age, you could only work in Asian industry. So I was traveling a lot in Asia, making money. I loved it. But then I kind of wanted to pursue that next step of making a big career. And I knew that the only way to make it was going to Europe or to America, yes. I always been the shortest model in the room. So I think that's always something that was kind of limiting me a lot. So at some point I understood that I have to find a way to position myself in an industry where I can still have a shot.
Sorry, did you say you're the shortest?
I was the shortest.
How tall are you?
I always used to say I'm 173, but I'm actually probably 171.
What is that in feet and inches?
I will say it's 5'8".
Okay.
So, I mean, it's not short for a regular person, but it is short for a model.
Fair.
And I think I've been conditioned to believe that I'm short. And I tried so many things being young. You know those boots that you hang yourself upside down?
Yes.
I had them at home. I was trying to stretch myself so much to like be taller.
Was there science behind that, or
I
no?
guess I decided that there's size behind.
Fair.
But yes, there is that you could stretch a little bit the spine.
Okay.
But it doesn't last. Like as soon as you stop stretching, it's kind of
Got
goes
it.
back, the disc going back to normal.
Got it.
But I was trying everything to just kind of be that tall model. And then at some point I understood that that's not given to me and I should find other ways to see it realistically at my career and which opportunity I have. And I understood that I'm a really great commercial model. And commercial industry is where the money is, because a lot of times for all of these fancy fashion shows, fancy campaigns, they don't really pay.
Right.
You just think like, oh, you should be grateful to be there.
I'm
because
familiar with the concept. Yeah.
Yeah, so at some point as I grew older, I was like, you know what? My gift is being the commercial model, making money. And then as I came to America, I realized there is such a brand as Victoria's Secret, which I obviously knew before. But I was like, you know what? I think I have a shot in this one because Victoria's Secret is all about personality. They don't really pay attention to height as much. They value a lot the commercial skills. And I will tell you, even with Victoria's Secret, with a lot of their models, they start kind of be successful overnight. With me, like I worked for the brand so many years before, 3 years probably before I stepped on a runway.
And you were doing catalog.
I was just doing catalogs, yes. And I was doing catalogs like weekly for them. Like
oh, wow.
I was really on their catalog route, which was amazing because
weekly? You were basically working for...
Yes,
yeah.
they were literally shooting them weekly.
But let me ask you something. The other brands that I had mentioned in your intro, was that runway work or was that also catalog?
That was runway work, and that
was runway work.
Yes, and that was
despite your height.
Despite my height, I still did Hermès show. I still did Montclair show, but it was not just the volumes I needed in order to succeed in the industry because there's just such a big competition and so many models that despite the fact that I did all these highlights, it was not enough to be at the level where I wanted to be personally. Okay, and I felt like probably it was just a waste of time to focus myself so much on that. And at some point I just give up and I said to the agency, you know what, I don't want to do fashion shows anymore. I don't want to be running around fashion weeks anymore. Let's just focus on the commercial side. And I think that's when my biggest switch happened is like, okay, I pour my energy now on commercial side. It doesn't mean that I don't touch fashion. Like I was still doing magazines, but it was just so strategic.
Again, on commercial side, sorry, I apologize. I just want to make sure everybody understands. You're talking about catalog specifically when you say commercial.
Just to give you an idea.
Tell us what this is.
So commercial side of modeling is basically when you don't go to fashion weeks and you just purely focus on jobs that are online. Like online prints.
Right.
Catalogs can be prints also,
websites.
Physicals, websites. It's a job that is more consistent because it's not like they shoot catalogs almost every day. I was working one of my first big gigs when I came to New York that actually helped me to get out of modeling apartment was I was working weekly for Saks Fifth Avenue website. So I was just going to studio 3 to 4 times a week and I was just shooting for 6-7 hours, those catalogs.
How old were you?
That's probably like 17.
Okay. Can you tell me what's a modeling apartment? I know, but I'd like for you to explain.
So a modeling apartment is something that you placed when you travel to foreign country and they place you into the agency model apartment. So usually agency rent model apartment that is, let's say, 2-bedroom. They pay maybe $3,000-$4,000 for it. They place 10 girls in one model apartment.
So they place 10 girls in a 2-bedroom apartment?
Yes, it's a bunk beds. Like it's
bunk beds.
Yeah.
They have multiple bunk beds in each bedroom.
Yes.
And you're all in there.
We are all in there.
And you're teenagers. Were there any adults in there to supervise you?
So no.
Or you didn't need supervision. You're already kind of grown up.
No, they did not supervise us. I remember I came to New York. I was living in a Canal Street apartment. It was facing fire station, so the whole night I could hear the fire alarm goes on. And I was living in that room where it was 4 bunk beds, so it was like 8 people in one room.
I think that there's this misconception that when you look at models who are doing the type of work that you were doing, they think it's all rich and famous and glamorous, and they they think all these things. But I mean, the real story, because like you're in a room with how many girls?
So it was actually it's funny. One room was like 8 girls, and another room was 2 girls, and you kind of had to like deserve to be in the room that was 2 girls. Like if you stayed longer in the model apartment, you kind of transitioning into that room.
Right.
That had 2 girls.
Right.
Eventually, I transitioned to that room, but I was like on the 2nd floor of Bank Bed, living there for a first year. No, actually not even a year. I was couldn't wait to get out of there. So probably, by the end of first year, I got out of a modeling
Where were
apartment.
your parents were back in Russia?
Yes, my parents were back in Russia. A lot of people kind of shocked when I say that I left my country almost 13 years ago, and I never came back. Like, I never came to visit.
You've never been back to Russia to visit?
I've never been back.
Like, you never went to Moscow?
No. I mean, no, I went to Moscow before I came to New York because I needed to visas
but you were a child.
My agency, yes. But since I landed in New York and I put my mind that this is a place I'm gonna live in, I never went back.
Why?
Because I felt like I did not want to lose a focus from my work. And I felt like, okay, if I want to stay here, I really need to be committed to be here. And when I gained, for example, the client that I told you about, Saks Fifth Avenue, that is such a big website that everybody know, I knew that if I take a month off and I'm going to go to Russia and I come back, they'll find another model because they need to shoot somebody.
How did you get this work ethic? Because I'll before you answer that question, I'll tell you why. Because like when my family immigrated in 1976 from Ukraine to Canada, there was no bridges back. That was for political reasons.
Yeah.
And as a result, my family had to, specifically my parents had to have this resilience that there was no way back. So they had to make it work.
Yeah.
And even when we moved now from Toronto to Miami, Valeria and I immediately sold our home, sold everything, got out, exited the country completely. And I remember even Valeria saying, well, don't we want to leave a way back? There's no way back. And you knew that already at that age. Did your parents tell you go and don't come back? Meaning in a nice way.
I was always analyzing why, because I wouldn't say like, oh, I had such a hard like upbringing that I had to run away. Like I was, I grew up in a very loving home, but I will say that I think my dad is the reason, because I feel like he had his unfulfilled ambitions that he never was able to fulfill in life. And he's an amazing dad. He's provider for us, but he actually, just to go back a little, he was a soccer player. And he dreamed all his childhood to be a big soccer player. He was actually playing for the team of my city, okay? And as you know, Soviet Union and the hard times that happened, he had to drop it because they weren't paying, and he had to go and work as, грузчик.
How do you, like he was moving things. He was,
like the porter in the train station. So because I was paying more.
Right.
And because they got married with my mom, and my mom was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you got to feed the family. Like, this is not working anymore. And I truly feel like maybe that part in him, that he never fulfilled his true dream, that he engraved in me and my brother, that no matter which dream, if you have a dream, you have to go for it, because you have the ability, you have the focus, you have the circumstances that I didn't have. And I think a little bit also the love for America have been engraved in me growing up, because I think my dad was always raising me with American dreams, saying the future is there, you have to go there. Like, I think that's also part of him, was dreaming to live in America. Like, he loves America so much, and he's so happy I'm here and my brother is here. But I think we kind of we're raised that way, that vision that like America, where the future is, follow your dreams, work hard. And that was just something that was like, okay, in order to provide, in order to see the results, you gotta show up every single day. And he led by example, not just by words.
What a beautiful story. I mean,
yes.
it's such an amazing kind of, story of your origin and where you come from, and the story of you coming here and not looking back, and that resilience. You had so many kind of hurdles, because even like as a young girl, I'm going to say girl because you were a teenager, coming from, a completely different country. You're by yourself in a foreign place. You're living in an apartment with 10 other people, it's amazing. At what point was there did you hit a certain scale in modeling? I'm trying to understand where your career really took off. Was it before or after social media?
So I would say Victoria's Secret was definitely one of the brands that
was the
took
pivot?
me off.
That was the pivot.
That
Okay.
took me off and put me on the map of the modeling industry, where people in the industry started to respect me and recognize me, and was not paying as much to my height anymore. They were inviting me to other things, which was really nice. I always look back at this moment and just wonder if I could do better with that, I don't think I had that much confidence back then. I didn't speak English as well, I always felt like I did not have enough to make the most out of it, And I, just projecting my modeling career, I had such a big vision and plans in my mind that I'm going to retire really old, still modeling, and that did not happen.
You thought that you would be much older when you stopped modeling?
Yes.
But that industry is notoriously known for kind of having a short lifespan.
No, but I always were aiming for that long career in modeling, because there are a few models that have a long careers, but when you become iconic, you have to become iconic in order to be that person that lasts.
Like a Kate Moss.
Exactly.
Right.
So I always had that bar high for myself. I was like, I'm going to model until I can. I'm going to be the highlight of my career. When I leave, I had that goal clear, and the bar was set very high for myself. I will tell you, I exited modeling not by will as much. I mean, I am, but in the same time, it was the circumstances that led me to kind of stop modeling. I met my husband that was living in Miami at that time, and I was living in New York. And everything happened so quickly. We met, we got married the next year, and then we had a child. I got pregnant 6 months later after the waiting.
I need to interrupt you.
Yeah.
And we need to hear the story about Australia. Because the first time I heard the story is when
just
the four
now
of
I
us.
posted.
I know you just posted it, but I remember the first time I heard it was when the four of us went out to dinner a few years ago, and I remember you telling the story. But can you just tell us the story for our friends here?
So I met my husband a few years before we actually start dating. Briefly, because he had a girlfriend and I had a boyfriend, so we kind of met in a group of friends. And since then, he apparently remembered me. I did not remember him, even so he thinks I'm lying. I swear I did not. But basically, he broke up with his girlfriend back then, and he was waiting out until I'm gonna break up with my boyfriend. And as soon as I broke up with my boyfriend, because we had a group of mutual friends, I guess somebody told him, she's free.
I think he had spies. He had people. He was
had
monitoring.
A lot of spies. Literally the first week I flew to Australia because I was like, I'm newly single. I want to get away from New York. I told my booker, just find me a job that is outside of New York.
Was there nothing further than Australia? You couldn't find any further place to get away?
I don't know. It's just a job that came along. I went there for the catalog. It was a good job. It was a good money. And the booker's like, listen, I found you the job. It's really far. Would you want to go there? And I actually have been to Australia before, and I really loved Australia. The nature, everything. I was like, it's a perfect place for me to just get out of a city, free my mind after breakup, just maybe I meet somebody else there. Who knows, So I remember us today. I'm going on my flight to Australia, and I post the picture on Instagram, something on stories, I think, I'll go to Australia. And he DM'd me, and he was like, hi, why are you going to Australia? And I said, I'm going for a job. And he was like, will you go on a date with me if I come there? And I was like, haha, sure. I was like, who's going to go to Australia to go on a date? It's not that close. So fast forward, I was at the job the next day and was shooting catalogs. And then by the end of the day, I received the message basically so where am I supposed to meet? Tomorrow maybe, or whatever you're ready, whenever you're free, let me know. And he sent me that picture, welcome to Sydney. So he flew.
At the airport when he...
Yeah, he took a ticket the second I said, haha, sure. He went online, he took a ticket, he packed the bag real quick, and he just went there.
Casual.
Yes, he picked me up. We went on a date, just like connected from the first second. We extended our trip by a week. And since then, we've been together.
So I'm just curious. When he sent you that photo from the airport,
Yeah.
okay, I'm here, like I'm gonna come pick you up. What went through your mind? And sorry, this was okay. What went through your mind?
Honestly, I was just ready for adventures. I was like, sure, let's just go for it. I was not overthinking, you know. For the first time in my life, actually, it's funny because I always been in a relationship, like always. I'm that type of person. I love being in a relationship. I'm very nurturing, like. You know, I'm just always comfortable. Like, I never been that, like, single girl that is, like, running around, you know, going crazy in clubs. Like, I always been, like, settled and well at home. I was actually first time when I was going to Australia, I was like, you know what, maybe for once I shouldn't be, like, dating anybody and just be free. Career is taking off. Like, let's just have fun for once. Let's be young,
and then Valerio came, and then he...
That's it. It lasted for 4 days. Young and free lasted for 4 days.
And then since then you're together, you have 2 beautiful girls now.
Yes, okay. No, I love it. We're young and free together now.
Yes, that's
as
wonderful.
A couple.
That's wonderful. Okay, let's talk about your transition into content creation. At what point did you understand, or what was the spark? Because you were doing well in your modeling career. You were still doing it, I assume, when you started creating content. And I believe that was a time where, was it already a trend where models started creating their own, you know, building out their own socials and creating their own communities and audiences online? Were you part of that kind of wave, or were you more of a pioneer?
So I'll take it stage by stage, because I feel like it took me such a long time to detach from modeling. Like I told you, I grieved so long, that girl that I felt like still had a chance in modeling, and I felt like I did not reach the point which I wanted to reach in modeling. So it took me such a long time to disconnect from modeling. Even so, my modeling career like already wasn't going on. I was still trying so hard to fight it.
To stay in that industry.
To stay in this industry. And
you were already with Valerio?
I was already with Valerio. I actually moved to Miami because I was like, you know what, he's serious, I'm serious. I wanted a family, and I really fell in love with him. So I was like, you know what, he's the guy. He seems like he wants to settle down too. So I didn't want to lose that as well.
Yeah.
So I literally moved for him to Miami, and at first I was like, oh, this is gonna work out. I'm gonna be traveling to New York for work. Great. It did for first few months, and then as soon as I got pregnant, they just stopped calling me. They stopped calling me, and obviously I was like, you know what, it's fine. I'm pregnant. Like maybe after. And then after they weren't calling me again, and I think I was fighting it so hard. I was like, oh, I was taking those short trips to New York to try to like put myself on the map again, because something with modeling, just for you to understand, in order to be successful in the modeling industry is not just your appearance. It's so much politics inside of modeling agencies too. You have to have a good booker in the modeling agency that, by the way, have other 100 girls. Mm-hmm. And in order to stay on top of his mind, you gotta show up at the modeling agency every single day. Like as soon as I realized that the only way for me to be on top of his mind and for him to push me for a job is to be there every single day, to come look good. Like I always dress up, I change the high heels before I walk into the modeling agency, so he feels inspired by me.
Right.
And a lot of girls were not doing it, okay? So I always make sure I have a manicure, I always make sure I'm looking perfect when I was showing up there. And I think that's when results were showing, because I was literally so on top of him. He probably was like, oh my God, I have to find her job so she doesn't fucking come to this agency anymore, you know?
Right.
And I feel like as soon as I exited, there was another girl there maybe was doing it, and I was just not on top of their mind anymore.
You feel that there was a kind of a lack of loyalty.
I think that was the reason. And then plus also there's something in the industry that I hope is changing. I'm not so focused on modeling anymore, and I don't know what's going on, but there was this thing in the industry where as soon as the model would get married, get pregnant, a lot of bookers would be like, okay, that's it, like it's done.
Well, I think the reality is that there's a lot more models coming that are in that period, in that window of time before they get married and have kids, unfortunately.
Yes.
You know.
But also I think that when you reach certain level, they really, I mean, that's a very known kind of trend and very known path. They also try to like kind of to push you to date somebody famous.
Really?
Yes.
That's what goes on in that industry?
On a higher level, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So when you see all of these kind of celebrity couples, there's actual business people?
I don't know, maybe sometimes it happens organically, but I will tell you on my own experience, like they sometimes propose that.
Wow. That's incredible. That's wild.
And I think that I was not feeding that anymore criteria.
Right.
So I think that's just a lot of elements. It's not just one element, but I think not being there, being out of a industry, like not being able to mingle every night, like to go on these events and being there in New York all the time, hanging out with casting directors, photographers, just being in a loop of that fashion world. I was not there anymore.
So when you started seeing kind of that decline due to your circumstances,
Yeah.
I hope you understood it wasn't due to your talent, it was due to your circumstances. Or did you take it personally?
I think I took it really personally. And now, obviously, it's so silly to look back at it. But, don't forget, like, I entered modeling when I was 13. I was a child.
Of course.
I've been raised by this industry.
Sure.
And it took me such a long time to just detach from that mentality of, like, if you don't get a job, they would be like, it's because you're 4 pounds overweight. Or, like, it's
That's
because
real,
you're too short. Or, like, it's because... I don't know, you're blonde and they were looking for brunettes, like it's always been focused so much on either appearance, mostly appearance, right?
Sure.
So to be completely honest with you, like I think looking so much into my body, into like, maybe it's something about me, maybe I'm not looking as good anymore, and then I think I analyzed it and I was like, you know what? It's not. It's all about the fact that I'm not in a business anymore. It's not because I'm not constantly there anymore. So I think there is so much more elements to it. And it took me a really long time to detach from it. And at some point, I just said to myself, you know what? That's it. I'm done. And actually, Valerio also told me, he's like, listen, it's hurting you so much.
Sure.
Because I was really, some nights, I was crying for it. And he's like, listen, it's hurting you so much. I think you should just stop it for a second and just like reflect and reassess where you are to maybe see if you can find something else, or maybe you will come back with a second breast like half a year later.
Is that something else, content creation? Did you move directly or was there something in between?
So I will tell you how I got to content creation. So I detached
and I want to know
completely.
when. I want to know when as well.
So this whole thing that I told you happened, like me getting married, 6 months after marriage, getting pregnant, being pregnant, giving birth, and let's say 6 months after the birth as well. So I was like trying so hard to focus still on modeling and grieving, the whole period of time. Then I stopped. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a mom. Like, that's it. That's my destiny. Like, my husband loves me. I'm living in Miami. Like, I'm happy, like, let's just focus on being mom. And I enjoyed the slow life for probably 6 months, after which I was like...
Sorry, being a mom is a slow life? I don't know, I've seen moms...
No. Okay, not...
It's hard.
It's hard. But I'm saying, like, being mom is hard, but it is a slower pace of life.
It's not a glamorous, it's not
how to say, like, you're in one space the whole time, right? You're home, playground, grocery. And it's freaking hard because you don't have a change of scenery,
for sure.
Especially if you're used to being on a route, being engaged in the different projects, like different things that are like exciting, Not that being at home with kids is not exciting, but it's just like
it's different pace.
It's different, yeah. And that I never been before in. Like I wasn't prepared for it because when I was pregnant, as I said, I was imagining I'm going to go back to modeling, like I had a different map in my life, in my head. I realized I'm going crazy. Like I need something. I love being a mom, but I need an outlet outside of being a mom in order to fulfill my ambitions too.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, what's next? I really loved creating content at some point, but I was so scared to put the videos up. I was so scared. I was telling Valeria, I was like, I think I want to give it a shot on YouTube. But I'm so scared, like what people are gonna think, like is it too silly? Like, I was so self-conscious, like that people are gonna judge me for doing that.
So I just wanna make one comment before you continue, is that this feeling of being scared to put content out, the people who are watching this, who wanna be content creators, our members, who are scared about this, I just want them to understand that if you were scared after this career in modeling, after being
on the stage for Victoria's Secret, I still was scared.
Yeah. So it's normal.
I will tell you, I created my YouTube channel when I was doing VS show. It was 2015. And it took me more than 5 years to upload my first 5 years. 5 years.
So 2020 is when you uploaded your first YouTube video?
Yes.
Wow.
It took me 5 years to find the courage and the right moment to upload the video.
But looking back, do you understand that was all kind of,
I understand how much opportunities I lost. Because if I would start that YouTube channel when I was doing VS and I was showing backstage what I initially wanted to show and just showing the perspective of modeling and the industry from that backhand, where people were so curious to see because nobody really saw the raw moments of VS because everything was so highlighted in a beautiful way. I think this channel could have already so much potential, but it happened this way that I didn't find the courage. And I think, and it's okay. And 5 years later, I still wanted to upload this video and I still had the same fear I had back then. That I'm not going to be understood. My English is not perfect. Like, who is going to watch those videos? Like, just so many doubts in my head that probably didn't even matter.
And when did you get into Instagram? When did you start that?
So I started Instagram. I mean, I created Instagram for my parents because I was traveling all the time for modeling, and I wanted just for them to see what I was doing and my work. So it wasn't professional. I think that in modeling, it started to be so important at some point. Like they were checking how many followers you have on casting. So I actually created an account more as a model at the beginning.
Right.
And it was very different needs back then than it is now. I was conditioned to share my Instagram content in a way of a modeling. Like you cannot show your raw moments. You have to be looking perfect on a modeling.
But who's
pictures.
Telling you that?
Agencies. It was the agencies. It was the agencies that were kind of putting that in that light. You know?
But they were doing it for their agenda because when they book you, they make money. So
of course, but as I said, in modeling, they want you to obey and believe to what they say.
I understand.
And I think that I was conditioned to feel like they know better. And to this day, I do feel like I just learning to trust my inner voice because I think I still have that conditioning.
Just now, really?
Yes.
You seem like you trust it pretty well. It seems like it's telling you the right thing.
I kind of I test it out. I fake it till you make it kind of thing.
I don't think you're faking it. I think you're actually making it.
I think now, as I told you, this year, I really feel like I gained that confidence finally.
But hold on a second. So, okay, I definitely want to talk about that. But in terms of, at what point did you understand that social media, Instagram specifically, this is going to be your next career? Was there a breakout moment, or was it just consistent posting and just slow growth? What was there some kind of a moment that you said this is it? I think that when I started social media, 5 years ago, I uploaded my first video as a content creator. Yeah. That's when I take the moment of okay, this is what I'm trying myself. That's 5 years ago.
It's 5 years ago that I took it more
when COVID
seriously.
started.
Yes. I will say that I wasn't making big plans in the beginning. I was just you know what? It's going to be more of an artistic outlet for me, something that will keep me a little bit occupied outside of being a mom.
Sure.
I created videos. I edit them myself.
Yeah.
I learned how to edit them also online. So I just took it as a passion project in the beginning. I wasn't okay, I want to gain, 500,000 followers by the end of the year.
How was your growth in that early stage? How was your audience growth?
It was actually good. My first YouTube videos were doing really well, and I think that's what kind of kept me going. Even so, when I look at them now, I was like, oh, why are they doing well? But they were doing well. And I was just exploring, what I like to share. I was sharing motherhood, I was sharing wellness, just was enjoying the process, and just the fact that it already took me off my thoughts in a little bit different direction than motherhood. It was just already fulfilling for me.
I feel that before you and I not met socially, but when we met to discuss content creation, when we sat down and we kind of had a session, you had voiced to me that you were frustrated, and then we met, and I feel like you kind of left that meeting. You had a mission.
Yes.
But not only that, I think, and I'm not saying this to claim any of this. This is all you, obviously, but I think in that period of time, since that meeting, which was less than a year ago, you've grown by like about 350 to 400,000 followers to about 1.3 million.
Yes.
So tell me kind of what happened after you left that meeting with me, and kind of what was that fire?
I mean, I expressed to you so many times, Creator Method, and you helped me so much. You should take a credit for it.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I definitely, when I joined Creator Method, I wasn't the beginner. But as I said, I think I had so many blocks in me of like taking that to the next level, to speak more to the camera. I think that's something I was struggling with, to like just open up a little bit door to my personal things.
Yeah.
And I think that's helped me so much. You guys helped me so much to just kind of see other perspective on my content, that helped me to finally break free in that aspect and add that content to my page. So that was definitely a game changer. But I think also, like I was sharing, I saw a big growth when I started to do 2 videos
a day. Yeah.
Which is so hard to obviously to keep going. But something that I will tell, that now probably the young creators are looking at it and like, oh my God, I have to do two videos a day. I will say that first, it took me many years. I mean, as you see, it took me 4 years to figure out which content I actually enjoy to share. And I think that no matter which content you share, you gotta enjoy it. Like, the enjoyment of creating content should be there. And that's something that took me so long to learn, because I was doing some content that I wasn't maybe enjoying as much doing, and it just felt like, it takes a lot of effort.
I know the formats you're talking about specifically.
Like, it takes a lot of effort, and then like you don't even see results, and you're like, I'm not even enjoying this, you know?
And now I see in your content, you do it all the time. You're dancing in your kitchen. This Labubu thing that you did with your daughter, like, it's so cute. Like, that Labubu concept, that's not a whole like, let's plan it for half a day.
No, it took me like 5 seconds.
It took you 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think that, as I said, I think that content world changed so much too, because we came out of that like perfectly curated content, and now people are heading towards more like raw things and more authentic things, which I love, because it feels more real, and it feels something that you can sustainably create. I remember to this day, I told you guys, who do I have to hire in order to like start creating more videos? And I remember Valeria told me, she was like, listen, you don't need to hire anybody unless you figure this out. Nobody else will.
Correct.
And I remember that word, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going home, and I'm not going to come out of there until I figure this out. And I was just trying so many things. I was just trying different formats, different content, tweaking it a little bit, showing things that I truly love and use. And that's kind of how I found my own perfect formula for the content.
Yeah. I also noticed that Valerio is showing up now. He wasn't before.
No. I think that
What was the shift with him?
So I don't blame him. I mean, listen, he doesn't understand the social media world. He has an Instagram account, but he just uses it as a daily whatever thing to hang out.
It's not his industry.
It's not his industry. So for the long time, he was kind of like struggling to understand what I was trying to do. Even so, at some point, he saw I had an interest, and he was like, just upload this video, do it. Like, he was supportive, but he was still like struggling to understand. Like, he was giving me sometimes the looks, like when I was putting the camera, he'd be like, really? Like,
Yeah.
I did not have that like comfortable environment to create content in the beginning.
Right.
I felt like I needed to hide from him in order to like be free. Or like when I would be creating content, and as soon as I would hear like him like coming close, I would be like stopping it, because I was too embarrassed to maybe like talk. Like I just felt like, oh my God, it's something that's cringe, to do, because I felt like he was not understanding it. And then I think slowly I started to put more and more, and obviously I started to take it more as a job, and I was trying to educate him a little bit more on the industry. Like, listen, I feel like this is my next step after modeling. I feel like I love doing it. I feel like I'm sharing fashion right now, passion for fashion, in a more different way. And I think eventually he was like, he started to see through their vision.
For sure.
And I think now he's finally so on board. He hypes me up. He celebrates my wins. He He monitors my account. He
What
always
a difference.
things.
But
Yes.
what a difference for you. And I think
But I will tell you, psychologically, I think that's played a big role for me to break free too.
having that support from him.
Having that support at home helped a lot now to be like, oh, I'm doing all these things. I'm doing these silly things. I'm doing fun things. I'm not taking myself too serious.
Yeah. A lot of the feedback I get from within Creator Method from the members is that their husbands aren't on board. And it's not because they're bad guys. It just, they don't know. They don't get it. They're just, they're too far from this industry.
It takes time. It takes education to kind of make them understand it.
I agree with you 100%. You know what I want people to do who are watching this, especially people who aren't just listening to it, but who are watching this on YouTube? I want them to go back and I want them to watch it again. And I'll tell you why. Because when you talk about content creation, I want them to see how you light up when you talk about content creation. And that's what I'm trying, like with Creator Method and with the people that I coach and mentor, that's what I want. I want content creation to be such a passion, because when it becomes a passion, it improves all aspects of your life. This is like the most profound and effective road to self-improvement that I have seen. And the whole world is obviously, these massive industries on self-improvement. Go be a content creator and succeed at content creation, because that will be the best way that'll lead to all aspects of your life, your health, your happiness, your relationships.
It challenges you so much.
So much. Where are you at now? I want to know if there's anything that I can do to help you. Like, are there any blockers that you're experiencing? What's your next plan? What's your next goal? How do we get you to your next goal?
So right now, not many people know, but I'm actually developing my own wellness platform.
Okay.
I'm trying not to sound too serious or share it too seriously, because it's always been a passion of mine, wellness. I've been a model for so many years. I tried so many diets. I always worked out. Only after pregnancy, I will say, I found balance with myself, within my body, and finally cured my eating disorders that I had from modeling days. So I feel like I have so much knowledge to share and so much experience in that field that I went through myself, that I think that this coming year, I want to share more about wellness and my approach to wellness, and just organize it to make it more organized in one platform. So I think that right now I'm heading more towards wellness and just brainstorming more wellness ideas.
And is that going to be an app in the form of and the monetization is subscription?
So yes, at first I'm going to do, not an app, I'm going to do a website at first, with where I'm going to organize all my workouts and just like record videos about my approach and philosophy to life, to food, to everything. Because I think fitness ties up not only to repeating workouts or repeating a diet, it's so much goes into a mindset. And I think just teaching people to be consistent and how to look at wellness in a more easy and positive way is something I'm striving to do, because I do feel like a lot of people look at the wellness industry or wellness programs and it just feels so like strict.
So this is a platform that you're going to create.
Yes.
And you're obviously, and again, it's going to be subscription based.
It's going to be subscription based platform, yes, that people are going to train with me, because I actually sharing kind of like short form content on Instagram that people loved. That's how kind of what pushed me to develop it, because I saw the people really loved following it. But the one concern they had is like, oh, it's so hard to follow because it's a short form. So I was like, you know what? I think the next step is for me to package it and to develop a long form that is easy to follow. It's more organized.
So I do suggest starting the app and the website simultaneously, and one login will give them access to both. I think maybe for you it sounds like a bit intimidating because of the tech, but there are companies right now that will provide you both the web version and the branded application simultaneously for a relatively low monthly fee. As a SaaS. SaaS stands for software as a service. So as a software as a service platform, it's relatively inexpensive. So I hope you're not going and trying to get a webmaster and building a website from scratch and trying to do.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, don't do that. So go to
I have to talk to you about that.
Yeah, talk to me before you do anything like that. So you simply go to ChatGPT and you say, I want to create a wellness app. This is who I am. This is the concept. I want to do a combination of long form videos plus downloadable PDFs. I'm going to put lessons about wellness and how to integrate it in the way that you just explain the concept of your program. You explain it to ChatGPT and say, I want you to give me the best platforms that will provide a complete end-to-end tech solution, which will include a mobile app and a website. And then the other thing I recommend you do, and I'm talking as a practitioner, is you do it as a community, as an accountability community.
That's what I wanted
So in order to do that, so we use a combination of Kajabi to host our video content, and then we use, as you know, we use Slack for the community, so that, you know, and Slack has been up until now, or in general, it's been used as more of like a workplace. So, you know, companies with thousands of employees potentially use it. But there's other solutions. There's a platform called Mighty Networks, who I've been talking to. Yeah, look up Mighty Networks.
Okay, I have to have a whole meeting with you about this because I'm new to this, and
no problem.
I've been convinced by people that app is actually like, it's not a smart move because it's too expensive to build, and
it's not too expensive to build.
Okay.
So this integration, I'll introduce you. The Mighty Networks they're a huge company. Like they, you know, and so is Kajabi, by the way. And we have relationships with the ownership of both, so I can make an introduction.
Amazing, yes.
And it's an end-to-end, it's called a tech stack, and they'll be able to set it all up for you. It's important that how you set it up initially, because migrating over and changing over once you have scale and you have members, it's difficult. So come talk to me. It's literally, we'll make some introductions to these providers, and I think that's
gonna solve the problem.
There's no problem. Like it's already done for you.
The
work is done. It's cheap. Anyways, that's definitely something you should do. So look, I think from that perspective, you know, I definitely agree with that. I want to mention the integration of, like, once you understand what's going to be involved in that content, you need to start integrating it into your existing content. But there's a couple of caveats, and I want to tell you about this. When you start incorporating content to establish yourself as a thought leader in the wellness space, because you're going to want to make that transition from your organic social content that you're putting out to have people come over and then pay you for, you know, but they're not going to pay you because you're going to be like, come buy my stuff, come buy my stuff, come buy my stuff. If you look at my social media, like my Instagram, both the Creator Method Instagram and my personal Instagram, I do this. Like, this video will be cut up into, you know, not because, and I'm not saying, hey, come buy Creator Method. Yeah, there's the logo in the background, but I'm establishing myself as someone who, like, is a thought leader, who is an authority in what I do. And so a lot of that is already done for you, quite frankly, because you're super fit, right? So that helps a lot, right? So you're already an authority, but the more you talk about it, but one thing and then the ask.
I want to go back to, like, also, I take this seriously, and I wanted to. No, but I wanted to also, not many people know, but actually, like, a lot of wellness creators, they don't even have backgrounds or any education in wellness field. I'm actually now studying also for one of the best certifications.
That's amazing.
So in order for me to gain that confidence to talk about wellness and establish myself in that industry.
Vita, I think that you're already, look, when someone, I believe in practitioners. No,
I have an experience. For
sure.
I
know, but I'm saying anything to do with, like, I think the entire field of education, like all the way from universities, I think it's about to go through a massive disruption. Well, it's not that it's outdated. It's just going to go through a massive disruption between people who are, like, academics and theorists to people who actually have done and succeeded. And that's the whole theory behind Creator Method. It's like, you can go to university and you can go to, like, the faculty of social media, which they have now, and learn from a professor who's never
done that one video in
his
life. He's
never gained a follower in his entire life, and he's working on theory, versus myself and Valeria, who we reach almost 200 million people every month. So to me, there's going to be a big shift. To you're already living the lifestyle, and you've achieved certain things in your own personal wellness that make you an authority in this space. So rather than going to talk to, did you ever see, like, I don't want to get political, but, like, in some countries, like, the Minister of Health is, like,
overweight person,
overweight with terrible skin.
Yes.
So,
you're like, how that person can give me advice about health if he cannot take care of his own body.
Exactly. So what I'm saying for you is, I'm not taking away from your certifications. I believe those certifications are extremely valuable to be able to put those credentials up as to why you're the person who's going to deliver on the value proposition that you're offering. But I believe what those certificates will give you, and the experience you'll have, is it'll make you a more effective communicator of that subject matter.
Yes, because that's what I'm doing it for.
That's mainly. And that, I think, is going to be the more practical. To
have more confidence to talk about the
topic.
Yes.
But I don't believe that people who are considering to sign up and pay for your
No, they're
program,
not going to make a difference for them.
I don't think it'll make a difference. I think
Yes.
they're going to look at you, and and it's also not only obviously your appearance and your level of fitness, but they have to like you. And you've already laid that groundwork down in your social media. I do want to kind of warn you a little bit, because what's going to happen is once you start, like right now, you're already laying the groundwork for this. I'm not sure when you're going to launch, but whenever that's going to be, you're laying the groundwork with the relationship that you're building with your audience, which is great. You're eventually going to come up with formats. You're going to strategize, and you're going to come up with formats that are going to show your knowledge in wellness, and that are meant to create what's called a funnel, where people are coming from your social media and into your paid platform, and then making that purchase and becoming a customer of yours. And what's going to happen is those content concepts that you're going to introduce in order to start that funnel process, it's going to not perform the same as your funny stuff and your like organic stuff. You need to be prepared for that. And that's a conversation that Valeria and I have often, and with the team, where sometimes the team will get alarmed and say, hey, like, obviously it's not resonating with people. And I say, that's okay, because you have to build it up, first of all. And eventually it may or may not hit the same numbers as your other stuff, but you can't expect the funny viral stuff that you do.
Yeah, to go the same performance of the serious content,
and
that might be more niche to the specific people.
Because the thing is, let's say you get 1 million views on something funny or a viral concept or a funny voiceover or a trending sound. Just because you got 1 million views there doesn't decrease the value of the 100,000 views you're going to get when you're trying to, quite frankly, sell your platform.
Yeah. No, but more than anything, actually, something I analyzed too about performance is like a lot of funny videos. Yes, they have a lot of engagement and view, but actually, like if you look at the follow, they don't get as much follow. But actually, sometimes content that is, seems like performing on the low end can have more follows, because people see more values and they want to follow more of this advice. So they see more reasons to follow you.
I agree. You know what I've developed? On that note, I've developed a very healthy kind of disconnect and distance from the data, meaning I'm still monitoring it, but I understand that this direct correlation that people try to make with various data points on content performance, they think are dictating the progression of their career. I really have a healthy disconnect from it now, because I can tell you that piece of content that you're going to put out that is painting you correctly as an authority in the wellness space, that will potentially not perform anywhere near the average of like your fashion and your funny, like the value of those views, even if they don't convert to followers, quite frankly, even if they don't convert instantly to new paying members, I still see the value in those 100,000 views. Yeah. Because I can visualize what 100,000 people looking at something, because even if they don't convert today, even if they don't take the action I want them to take today, meaning follow or click on a website or eventually apply to creator method, it's okay, because we're building it and I see the progression over time. So I just want to manage your expectations that this isn't like direct sales. This is brand building that does take time and a lot of faith. And a lot of kind of blind faith. So I just want to tell you about that.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, of course. In terms of, I just want to manage your expectations. Just don't quit.
No, I'm not going to quit. I think I'm also, in order for me not to quit, I'm trying to put my mind into the same direction I put when I started content creation, is enjoyment to create that content.
Of course.
And I love working out. It's natural for me to share those videos. It doesn't take a lot of effort for me to share those videos, so I'm just putting that mind in that space.
Fair. I want to point something out though.
Yeah.
You're now venturing into your own business.
Yeah.
You're already doing your own business because you're already monetizing your social media. This is different because now this is a business.
Product.
Well, this is a service. It's a digital product.
I haven't done this service or a product outside of my content.
It's a digital product. Yes. But here's what I want to mention to you is that you can't let. What's going to happen is now this is going to be a business with overhead, which is not something you have overhead now because you have team members, but this is a different kind of P&L, profit and loss, where you have now overhead, you have the technology cost, which isn't a lot, but you may have different staff for it. You have production costs where you have to rent studios, and every month you're going to be like, okay, this is what I'm spending on this business. And you might actually be losing money for several months, that's a real business. Real businesses
yes,
lose
I have to
money.
prepare myself for that because
but that's how a business works, especially in tech. Businesses lose money for extended periods of time, and the hope is that the loss doesn't go away, but the revenue continues to climb while let's say the expenses stay fixed. And so every month you're losing a little bit less, and you're foreseeing when there's going to be an inflection point on the graph where it's like, okay, this month I broke even. And believe it or not, people celebrate when they break even because they were losing money for so long. And I'm not suggesting that's going to happen with you because you're starting from a different position. You're starting from a position where you already have the audience.
Yeah.
Imagine people start a business like what you're going to start.
Yeah, from zero.
They don't have any audience.
Yeah.
I can tell you that when we launched Creator Method, it did well in the first few days, but I thought it would be much more. And instead of getting upset about it, well, I didn't get upset about it. I was realistic about it. And I said, okay, it's going to take more time. Meaning the initial people who joined, and we had a lot of people join in the first 48 hours, those were people that they would have, anything that we would have directly sold, they would have been into.
Be there. They're a hardcore.
They're just our biggest supporters, and I obviously love them. But then I understood that, okay, it's going to be a long road, and it's going to take, and now it's been about 14 months, and it's going to take branding, consistent effort, consistent content, building infrastructure. And I'm almost happy, not almost, I'm happy that it didn't blow up right away, because if 10 or 20 times more people signed up for Creator Method in those first 48 hours, I would have disappointed them. So when you...
it gives you time to learn
It gives you time...
to learn and adjust things. And
So even if the numbers, just keep in mind, it's a great opportunity when you have a smaller group of people to really build out their value proposition. This stuff now I can talk about forever, and I won't bore you with
but
it.
I'm super interested, and
I'm into it. When you...
More than happy to meet
when you want to do that. On the content side...
But I wanted to... Yes, I want to come back to the content side before I lose that question.
Yes, please.
So now that I'm incorporating wellness into my structure, I looked at my content in a more percentage base. How many contents do I have? Which pillars and which percentages I have to create. So for now, should I break it down to you, what I have in mind?
Before you do, I just want to mention something. You said something that is very true, but I want to make sure that you're you see it.
Yeah.
When I incorporate the wellness content you said when I incorporate wellness into my content. So you're not...
I already incorporating it, but I will...
But I'm suggesting you incorporate it into your existing concepts. Think about that. So you have a number of formats. You know which formats you enjoy doing.
I'm talking about not...
You're not reinventing the wheel.
No.
You're putting it into what's already there.
I'm putting in a content that I already shared, but I will bump up the percentage of it. For example...
But how are you integrating it? Give me an example.
So just to give you an example, I was sharing, I'm sharing still workouts, short form. I do them about 2 workout a week, okay? Then I also did a series that called Avocado Talks.
Yes, I saw.
And it's a concept that I just randomly shared, and it performed extremely well. And I understood people love maybe the setting, maybe the fact that I'm doing avocado toast. I don't know what it is, but every time when I do this type of setup, people there to listen. And I think I'm just going to dedicate that avocado talk in that specific place with me making avocado, or maybe I will diversify the toast that I'm making to incorporate also the recipes. But I was thinking to just do that purely on wellness topics now, because before avocado talks were about sometimes wellness, with a mix. So I kind of want to create the pillars, not from scratch, but that are already incorporated before. For example, I'm doing fashion hauls, right? Where I open the box that I received, and I show the clothing. So I just uploaded this past week, grocery haul, and it did well too. And I was like, you know what? It's a good line in between the content I already created. It's just a little spiel on wellness.
Of course.
And I can do different grocery hauls, maybe, inspired, protein inspired, or a grocery haul in which meals I made this week. So I think I can play around with it. But basically, I found 3 pillars that works within.
But wellness isn't just about the food. I'm assuming that your concept of wellness isn't just around diet. It's a combination of diet.
No. But for example, avocado talks is more about mindset, right? Mindset. Wellness for me is the overall approach of to life. It's your mindset, the consistency, everything, right? Like your well-being. So I saw that avocado talks will be purely based, almost all of them are more on mindset and my approach to life. And then grocery hauls will be showing more food and maybe sometimes recipes. And then workouts will be showing more my movement. So it's kind of 3 pillars that I'm going to be covering in my subscription-based program, but it's not completely the same what I'm offering there. What do you think the percentage base should be of that content within your content?
I think that if that content is falling within concepts that you're already doing, it should just be kind of you should try to put in, I think, as much as you can, because anything to do with wellness, I think it's native to you. So the way that I would look at it, as opposed to a percentage, there's sometimes times to be quantitative and sometimes times to be qualitative.
Yeah.
So the way that I would look at it if I were you is I would lay out all of your concepts.
Yeah.
And I would look at them and I'd say, okay, here's the 5 or 6 different concepts or formats that you currently do. Can wellness integrate with any of them? And then you'll say, okay, out of the 5, let's say 2 of them, wellness integrates seamlessly. Like I can talk about wellness, it falls beautifully within this concept. Then I would just, however many times you're currently doing it, I would just continue doing it. I would just try to integrate it in as much as you can, as long as it's not going off track. You've figured out yourself and how to convey and communicate in an effective way. And I've seen that transition in the last year of just like, you've really blown up. I just want you to continue doing that. And the other piece of advice I want to give you, it's unsolicited, but I'm going to give it to you anyways.
Yes.
You're very happy now, and I'm happy that you're happy. I can see you're glowing, like professionally, you're happy and you have a glow. I don't want you to lose it. So I want to make sure that whatever things that you're doing to however way you're pampering yourself, or maybe you're getting enough sleep, I don't know, whatever it is, enough sleep, I was going to say, whatever it is, make sure you continue doing it. It's really important. Like I'm often pulling Valeria back and be like, hey, go and do the things you like to do, because you don't want to lose this spark as much as possible. It'll fluctuate.
Yes, of course.
But just stay on course.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Listen, thank you. I really appreciate you coming in.
I love being here.
You know what? Honestly, you're such a great supporter of what we do, not just with Creator Method, but with everything. You're awesome.
I was one of the first subscribers on that first day.
You were. You're awesome.
I was.
You really are awesome. And I think that the only request I have from you, if I may, my only request from you is if you can please come and do more collaborations with Valeria.
Yes.
Because I enjoy watching you guys work. I really do. It's a lot of fun.
We enjoy so much. It's just that we're always so busy with kids and
we
everything,
all are.
but we have to
we all are.
be more
But we're
committed.
taking a trip. We're all taking a trip together soon.
Yes.
That'll be a lot of fun. Vita, thank you, honey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.